information that we're getting from the outside of us is telling us otherwise. But there is this big transformation going on the planet, and I'm getting the impression that the majority of people don't know about it. So I want to tell you just a little background about me since I started this I've just launched this podcast, and I've been kind of getting it going and getting myself out there for the past 3 years through TikTok. So a lot of you guys follow me on there. And I've had my accounts censored and changed, and a lot of things have happened. And also needing to have an assistant and different things to get all of this pulled together has been quite an opportunity, but I have learned so much since 2020. As my consciousness has raised, I come from purely my heart space with every decision I make. And I've been doing that since 2014, and it has been nothing but success. But the transformation or the transition between going from used to coming up with ideas and actions that you're going to take through your mind and dropping into your heart space is quite a journey because of what happens when you do that. Put in the comments below what experiences you have had when you've made that shift, and how have people reacted to you as you've made that shift. So today we're going to journey into the depths of the heart where true consciousness resides. Imagine, if you will, that consciousness is not confined to the mind. We often think that our awareness, our very beingness, is housed somewhere in our heads. But what if consciousness, true consciousness, originated from the heart? So I'm going to tell you a story that completely why I'm here, because I decided to drop into my heart space in 2014 with everything I did. And 2017, late 2017, I got pregnant. I consciously decided to get pregnant with my husband. I was 43 at the time, and we went through, I decided that I'm going to take all the classes and everything that I never got to take with my first two. So I have a 28-year-old and a 25-year-old. And then I have a 16-year-old stepdaughter. Now she's 16. And at the time, this was in 2018. And at the time, I was under kind of the matrix of having the baby in the hospital, not wanting to be stupid or anything like that, and having a doctor and all of that. But I went to the hospitals and I saw an OBGYN. She immediately started telling me that I'm old, I'm geriatric, and this is not seeing my blood work, just literally going by my age. Well, I was already getting the consciousness that the aging program, which is a whole nother video, but the aging program has been stopped. So I was already on the path of like, I don't believe this. I was in an office working with somebody that had had several miscarriages, and she was 10, 15 years younger than me. But I did not relate that. My heart did not tell me that that was my situation. My heart told me to do this natural. Well, to fast forward a little bit, there's lots to this story that I will tell you throughout because it's an amazing story of having a natural birth and following my heart. So I'm going to the hospital and seeing the best OBGYN I could find, and in Issaquah, Washington. And I was not getting the response that I wanted. I was not being listened to. all the things you ladies know. And at 36 weeks, my birthing instructor that was in this class that was near my home that we'd been going to for like 8 weeks, she pulled me aside and she said, Monica, I think that if you do not have this birth, if you do not have a natural birth, a home birth, like what you're talking about, and you have the baby at the hospital, I think you will regret it for the rest of your life. I think you should give yourself this chance. And my heart was like, yeah, you're right. But I had to face my fear, which is false evidence appearing real. Because my fear was all the propaganda, all the things that could happen if you don't have your baby at the hospital, you know, all of that. And I didn't want something to happen and then I would look stupid. But I said, you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. And I'm going to have a home birth. I could deliver this baby at any time. So she'd given me a reference to a midwife. I called them, made an appointment, and fast forward to 3 weeks later, 3.5 weeks later, I was delivering that baby. And guess what? I ended up delivering the baby all by myself because I saw this midwife at 36 weeks. Okay. I saw these midwives at 36 weeks. And I asked all the questions. I'm like, is it okay that that I want to see you at 36 weeks? I'm like, what's going to happen if you guys show up at my house and I don't end up delivering? What's the process? Because I was still in the space in my mind that I felt like I was a burden. I didn't want anybody to be uncomfortable. I didn't want anybody to spend any time on me. If they had, they definitely had something more important to do, and that was my mindset. And I was nervous about having them come to my home and not performing, in the way I'm supposed to and deliver the baby. So I asked all these questions. She reassured me. She's like, Monica, no, you, once we're there, we're going to stay there. We're not going to leave you. Well, we're getting closer to my due date, and I get a call from this midwife, and she tells me I have to go to a funeral across the country when you're delivering. But don't worry, I have this other lady that you can meet. And I believe her name was Shannon, but and I'm like, okay. She's like, well, do you want to meet her before the birth and get to know her? And I'm like, I mean, literally, I was delivering in days because and she called me on like September 1st and I delivered at September 3rd. I said, no, it's okay, because I was still getting to this, which is what I'm talking about today. All these years ago, I was getting to this point of realizing that I can do anything I want. I can take care of myself. I had left a 20-year marriage that had its opportunities for growth. And when I had left, I was felt stronger, and I was like, I'm going by my heart space in all that I do. And now here I'm sitting, got myself where I'm delivering a human by myself. Why did I end up delivering my baby by myself? What happened? And this is all because I went through my heart space. But by delivering the baby by myself is what created this amazing power and this energy that went through my body and cleared a ton of frequencies. And I don't know, reset my DNA, unlocked my DNA. Those of you that know more about this or have specifics on this, maybe you can put in the comments what happened. So this woman comes on September 3rd. I go into full labor at 8 p.m. on September 2nd. I call her and talk to her and text her what's going on with me. By the time it was like 5 in the morning, 5:30 or so, my husband's freaking out and he's like, "You need to call her. You need to tell her to come." Well, I had told her that I have fast births because with my son, who is now 25, but at the time he was 20, I said, with my 20-year-old, I was induced and I had him within 45 minutes. So, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, then you have fast births, you spontaneous births," is what she said. "So we need to get over there." I'm like, "Okay." And so they came over. And I had, bought fresh fruit, organic yogurt, everything for them because I was concerned that they would be hungry, uncomfortable, waiting around for me to have this baby. And they got there. She did not even do an exam or anything to see how far along I was. It was the only pregnancy I ever had where I've never had any exam the entire 10 months. I never had any exam the whole time. Nobody ever checked me. Even when I went to the hospital, you guys, up until 36 weeks. So I just think that's kind of strange. But you guys know the hospitals now, they're not treating pregnant women and really caring for the mothers, which is why I was having the baby at home. But here I have this midwife. Here I have this midwife and her assistant, and they aren't doing anything for me. I have the labor pool set up. I have everything set up. They did nothing. I had hired a doula, and the doula was there. She started doing massage and things like that, which was really nice. But ultimately, at around 7:30 or so, they all fell asleep. The doula and the two midwives fell asleep and took a nap. The Then the midwives woke up. The doula is still sleeping on the floor. The midwives come up to us, like the head one and then the assistant, who I had met before. The assistant came up and said, actually, it was the assistant that said this to me and my husband and my Basset Hound Wallace. We were all laying there and I was in so much pain. But again, I was trying to not show and just be expressive because I was still under that mind control. But I was in massive pain and I was terrified of what was going to happen. But I also had this peace because my heart was saying, "Oh, you're going to do great. This is amazing. Women have done this." Plus, I'd done my research. I had watched thousands of videos on water births and watched women deliver. And I went through that class. So I knew what was going to happen. But when they came up and said, "We're going to be 2 hours," is exactly what they said. They said, "We're going to be 2 hours. You seem to be progressing with your labor just fine. So we'll be back." And my husband didn't say anything because I think he was a little bit stunned. And I was surprised as well, but I was in too much pain and I didn't believe in my own knowings. I didn't believe in my own knowing. Or did I? Because it turned out great and it changed my whole life because what proceeded after was nothing short of amazing. So they left for breakfast. And then within minutes of them leaving and being gone, I am up and moving around and the baby is coming. I end up in the labor pool. Long story short, I'm on my knees and I end up delivering my baby myself. And at one point, before I delivered the baby, when I went into our bathroom that was set up, and I went into the labor pool, my doula, which I never woke my doula up, you guys. I never woke her up. um, because I didn't want to bother her, even though I had paid her money and they want to do this for a job. I was still worried about other people. And the reason they were all sleeping, they all told me, the midwives and the doula told me they were sleeping because they were up all night with another birth, which I had specifically asked what they do in this case. Well, I guess they go to the new lady's house and they take naps. But I wasn't who I am now. It wasn't revealed. I wasn't going through my heart space. My heart space wanted that doula to be up. I wanted her to be helping me. I was in so much pain. But she got up when she heard my cries, came over and kneeled next to me. And she had a look. She locked eyes with me, and I was terrified of what is going to happen and what is this pain. It was a pain that I cannot describe, and it was overtaking me. And I did not know what was going to happen. I felt like I was facing death. I look over at my doula and we lock eyes, and she has this look of terror. And I knew that her look was telling me, I can't help you. I can't help you medically. I signed papers. She's there for emotional support. So I realized, and this voice came within and said, it's all you, Monica. It's all you. It's all up to you. There's nobody coming. You have to do this. You. And wow, it was incredible. I started my breathing and got into that and let out some amazing cries that later my son told me that he didn't even recognize my voice. He was downstairs. My son was downstairs with his friend they were getting ready to go hiking while I was delivering Natalie. But once I delivered Natalie, I delivered her. And of course, it was an amazing, amazing situation. And midwife's still not there. My husband had texted them, but I didn't care. All the stuff was going on around me. And I held Natalie. And then the midwives came. And then, of course, they were freaked out. So they were checking the baby and checking me, or all this stuff was going on. But while that was going on, all this information just started downloading into me. And I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know what was happening, but every question that I had ever had, every question about religion, every question about who I was, um, all the questions I had about the universe, um, and questions I didn't know, information about the galactics, and just so much stuff that I didn't even know what it was, because I was raised in a Christian environment and I was within the Baptist church from 27 to 40. And I was kept from all this information. I was told that it's evil. I was told that it's new age, whatever that means, because we are in a new age. We are in a new age. So all of that to talk about coming from the heart space and the power and what that will do. If you come from the heart space with your thoughts, your life will change in such an incredibly powerful, powerful way. It's like having the power of a heart-centered awareness is so incredible, and it brings so much harmony and flow into your life. Your heart is the center of your being. It's not just a physical pump, and it's not just a symbol for love. It's like I love the heart shape, but it's been watered down for sure, but it's very, very powerful. It's in fact, your electromagnetic center. And this is why I wear my crystals. I wear different ones, but this is my main one. where my crystals, your copper, your magnets on your heart space, because it helps to accentuate the field and make you more magnetic, which that's how you receive things instead of having to strive for them. So through your heart space, it flows with a natural, intuitive intelligence. When we drop out of the mind and allow ourselves to live from the heart space, we find that life flows in perfect harmony, like a river easing its way downstream, effortlessly meeting its destination. Doesn't that sound amazing? And when you know you're on that flow, why would you resist it? This is just learning how your machine works. Okay. And the way it works has changed. And I'm telling you how to click from your mind to using your heart. You see, we've been conditioned to strive, to compete, to hustle for our dreams as though there is a shortage or a lack. We are told that only by effort can we attain what we seek. Yet, if we can quiet the mind and center ourselves within the heart, a profound realization emerges. Everything we are looking for is already on its way to us. There is no scarcity, there is no competition, only the natural flow of life, abundant and endless. And this is such an incredible thing to have the conscious awareness of. Now, when you first try to get to that 0 point mind, which is what you want to strive towards, that is getting to the silent mind. And what you need to do is, I know everyone says to meditate, but that's what you want to do. And if you can just every single day consistently start off with 5 minutes where you just sit in silence for 5 minutes. Don't judge the thoughts that come into your mind. Just let them float past you like clouds or logs in a stream, and just let the 5 minutes go and do that every single day. Then the next step to get it more in depth, you can start doing guided meditations where people are speaking to keep you on track. So just go into YouTube and put in guided meditations. I carry all of these things in my community. So you can go in there and basically just work your ascension through the information that's in my group, along with my live teachings and workshops. And you can find out about that at therealityshifters.com. So you will just put forth what it is that you want to feel and achieve, and go in that direction through the heart space. And then you know that you're going to have success. And so, how do we align ourselves with this flow? We do this by surrendering. I always think of that old hymn. Some of you old, Christians might know the song, I surrender all to Jesus. I surrender all. I love that song. And it's through the Christ within. And once that happens and you surrender all, you cannot believe that liquid gold feeling that you have in your being. By allowing ourselves to be carried by the currents of life rather than trying to swim against them, surrender is not a weakness. It's the purest form of strength. It is an acknowledgement that there is a rhythm and a wisdom far greater than our own plans and ambitions. In surrender, we stop striving and begin receiving. We shift from the energy of wanting to the energy of allowing, realizing that everything we desire is already present, waiting for us to align with it from our heart center. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing everything from a place of peace and purpose. So everything you do needs to be intentional, where action flows naturally without resistance. So I've told you guys about the time that I surrendered to my heart space and delivered my own child and how that changed my life. And I could give you many, many more examples. And these last few years, I've had to keep on surrendering and surrendering and surrendering, just knowing that by doing so, I'm keeping myself in alignment with the energies that I want to be in. Do you want to be in the energies of strife, survival, disconnect, hardship? Well, if you don't, then you don't focus on that information. You don't make videos about that. You don't have conversations with people to be nice, because you don't want to be rude to grandma. And so you're listening to her organ recital, talking about all of her pills and her surgery. And that reminds me, we've got Thanksgiving coming up, and I advise everybody to do not go to Thanksgiving dinner if you cannot surrender to love and compassion, and your energy comes from that. Don't go to Thanksgiving this year to fight and quarrel and judge people by who they voted for, what they look like, or whatever. You need to have love and compassion for them, and do nothing if you're not going to go there to spread that. That's the new way now. So when we let go of striving and instead learn to attune to the heart's frequency, we draw in the right people, the right experiences, and the right opportunities. We magnetize them effortlessly as the heart vibrates in harmony with the universe, attracting to itself all that it needs. Imagine a world where we all embrace this natural flow. Imagine if each person did that, where each of us, each individual recognizes that there is more than enough for everyone, and competition will just fade away. In this world, we would uplift each other, seeing in each other an ally, not an adversary. And from this place of unity and love, we could collectively create a new earth. And women especially need to listen to this, because the dividing, being competitive, not sharing information, not helping one another, isolating yourselves is not going to help you. And you guys are seeing that. And from this place of unity and love, we will collectively create the new earth. And I am leading the way, a world founded on the wisdom of the heart. So let us trust in this heart-centered consciousness. Let us move from striving to surrendering, to everything, from wanting to allowing, and from competition to collaboration. When we allow life to flow through us in this way, we find that everything falls into place. The world is not a battlefield. It is a garden, and each of us is a unique bloom, nurtured by the same source. We are all one, you guys. It's unity consciousness. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey of the heart today. I loved sharing with you, and I'm loving this portal that I'm going into of this world of consciousness, and sharing how it has changed my life, and how this awareness and this raising of consciousness has changed other people's lives. And I have cracked the code, and I have all the codes. So if you are looking for what your code is and cracking it yourself, look into my information. I have lots of ways to work with me. You can join my private group at therealityshifters.com. And for a few dollars a month, you can get all the information, articles, a community of people from all over the world, plus all my information that I go in there to give all my information about all my opportunities that are going to be coming up with my community that I'm going to be creating, my little Smurf village. I'm super excited. That's going to be the center point, though, is going to be a quantum healing center that is going to have frequency and light and sound healing, along with amazing quantum products like DMSO and black seed oil and castor oil and lots of different types of oils, all to help soothe the nervous system, get it in alignment with this new higher frequency. And then your consciousness starts expanding and is aware. And then you're able to see this stuff that I'm talking about. So that's why I'm starting with the healing center, but I have all of that set up virtually. So if you want to start exploring sound and frequency healing, I am doing all of that remotely and having phenomenal success with it, in my own life, in my husband's life, and in the life of my members and the people that I am coaching. And I have lots of different price points and options for coaching. So if you want to put yourself first and you want to really grow and learn and fall in love with who you are, follow me, follow this podcast. I'm on Spotify. I am in my group, and I am on TikTok at monica.anderson493. There are lots and lots of copies of me out there, and they're running scams. So make sure you don't get caught up with any of those. And then I'm also on YouTube, which you may be watching this on YouTube. And that is at raw with peace underscore Monica. I have to remember where I'm at on everything, but go to shoprawwithpeace.com and all of my socials are there. My link tree, my coaching information, everything that I'm about, my community, my podcast, everything is on there. And if it's not on there, it will be on there. But also under my blog section, on my website at shoprawwithpeace.com. If you go under blogs, you will find discounts on some amazing products. So there's amazing sea moss from St. Lucia that is organic and really good. And that's great for hair growth. It's great to get your minerals. It's got like 98 different minerals in it. And it's being sold by a phenomenal person. So I have his company up there. Also the Nira lasers. So if you're done with Botox and you want firm skin, I've got some great Nira lasers, and I believe they're 20% off for November. So if you're interested in those, contact me because I think I have a special promotion for you. But then within that blog section, there is a place that you can go that lists the zeolite spray that I love and that works. So get all heavy metals off of you, and you can get 3 bottles through this link at a really good price. And there's Chromolux light bulbs, which give you healing light, which is what I have going in my office. And I'm bathed under beautiful healing violet flame lights all day. So it uplifts you and it keeps your biofield clear and vibrant and magnetic. And that's what you want. So there's also the Soma Vedics, which are little crystals that give off different frequencies that fill the room. And I have several of those through my house. So the idea is to set yourself up for success. Set yourself up to be successful during this time. The energies are not going to quit. They're only going to get hotter and hotter and higher and higher. So you've got to raise with it or be left behind. So make your decision on what you want to do. And there's a resource here for you. And I am committed to walking hand in hand with humanity and helping you move forward in simplistic, easy ways. You do not have to be in pain. You do not have to live in fear. You do not have to not know what's going on and just continue to walk around life and let it hit you and then you react. We want to be responsive, not reactive in what we do. So that's all for today, you guys. It's a fabulous day. Just to mark this podcast, it is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. So let me know in the comments what questions you have. Are you working out of the heart space? Give some tips to the audience if you're a higher being. And if you want to, if you're a creator that is doing podcasts that is on this consciousness thing, let's get together. Let's have a discussion together. I'm going to be having lots of different people on the podcast talking about consciousness, talking about new earth living, talking about how they've gone through it. I've actually been transitioning in this lifestyle and been living it solidly for 5 years, but learning and living it for 10. So I consider myself an expert and I consider that I have figured it out. And I can guarantee you that once you learn to unlock the magic within you and that power within you, you can literally wield your life any way you want. Whoever you want to be, whatever you want to be, you can do it. So get your gifts out there. Everybody wants to see them. Everybody wants the uniqueness. We're done with the beige and white kitchens and wearing beige and white clothes and being boring. We're not shaving our heads and being grumpy. We are being vibrant, beautiful, wild human beings. And that's what I want everybody to start expressing. Thanks, you guys. Have an awesome day. I will see you next time.